Good morning, everybody. I'm Wayne Campbell, and this is the driver's side. Real drivers, real talk. Can I get a mic check, please? Sheila, I need you to get a mic check.
Okay, mic check.
Don't be too excited this morning, Sheila.
What?
Don't. Just don't be too excited. I know you're not. I get it. I'm difficult to deal with. And that's all that is.
Sometimes.
So hold on. Let's see if we can get a mic check from Keith Becker. Keith Becker, go ahead and drop a comment. Remember, guys, you know what? Yeah, like and share. Go ahead and like and share. We got a crazy show this morning, don't we, Sheila?
Yep.
I mean, what do you think? I need help, honey. I get the comments, all that part, but I kind of need you here with me this morning.
Yeah, okay. I haven't even gone into. I was trying to go into even just where it even said live. I haven't gotten the comments. I just opened my phone.
I know, but I need. Otherwise, we know it's gonna go. Do you want me to just rant this morning? Because I could just rant. And we don't have to have a show. We can have a rant.
No, I don't want you to rant.
You sure?
Yes, no, I don't. You want me to speak up some?
No, I just want you to be involved.
I am involved. I don't want you to go off and rant. I think there's a time and place. Stuff has gone down and happened. And I don't think that necessarily you need to go into I don't think that you need to go into a rant about it. I think that there's all parties involved.
All right, so we got a great mic check. Yeah, I got to be careful because I'll snap.
Right.
I'll snap. So, all right, let me go to some comments real quick. Good morning, Dana. Good morning, Keith Becker. Good morning, RJ. Good morning, Valerie. Good morning, Bob Cook, Harold. All you folks that are in here this morning. Let's go ahead and get those views up because, well, we can. Because I can like and share into my groups myself. And then we'll get right into why we're here today and why I'm back. Right? We got a lot to talk about.
Yeah, your trip was cut a little short.
Cut a little short. It was like a 34-hour restart
Well,
in Ohio. That's all it was. Or it's like when that driver gets to that company that sold him the bill of goods, and he gets there, he's like, oh, God, I got to get out of here right now. I already know that my check ain't even going to clear. Oh, God. Remember, guys, I'm not mentioning anything else today, but we're here for you. You're going to hear my name's going to be dragged through the mud, and I'm okay with that because I'll drag my own name through the mud. The one thing I know is I've been true to this, and I'm not new to this. I will not associate myself with certain people, period. You know that, Sheila. There's one thing I don't see, and that's color.
right.
Okay? Period.
Right, and it's been a little, we see it right now with all the divide and the tension that's going on with all the riots and it's a little tense. It's not just cops versus black people. It's also there's tension between white and black right now.
Well, the one thing I don't like is here we go with the removal. The removal of historic monuments and stuff like that. That's been going on for a little while. I definitely don't see no color, Sheila. That's one thing I was raised to not see color. But I will not associate my people with people like that. Okay, and I get it. I get all the things going on in the world, even more now than ever. Is that certain things, certain words should not be tossed around if you are a racist, and if you want to display it, I guess display it at your home, not your company. I have the picture up. Okay, this is what sits on the porch, on the front steps of Hollerback, which I will not be a part of any longer. Okay, there's history with this, but today it's the black community. I'm deeply involved in the black community. Let me say that right now. Okay, I've worked for Shaquille O'Neal. I was raised not to see color, and I don't appreciate the N-word tossed around like it's nothing. Okay?
I agree.
So I'm going to start there. That's where I'm going to start with this. It's not just, that's not the reason, the number one reason why I left, but it's a huge reason. Huge. Because I don't judge people for what they believe in. I look at them for being a human. Nobody's perfect. Okay? And racism in trucking is huge. It's huge. It always has been. Okay? So I don't know who wants to get that twisted in there, but go ahead. But it's up to us to make change as far as that goes, because tension is deep right now. So for you to have that on the front steps of your trucking company, I know the history behind it. He froze, led people across the lakes, all that stuff. I know what that is. I know who it is, but I also know how it offends people. And it's not a historical monument. It's a deliberate offense.
Statement.
A deliberate statement. It really is. And that's not okay. That's not okay. The other thing that's not okay, Sheila, is I love all these men and women. I don't go out here and I don't make a dime.
No.
But I do sure make them look good, don't I? They could build a pretty truck. They could do all that. They can call me out to have me out there to hang out. But when I guess somebody just says one little thing about me, I am no longer affiliated with the driver's side page. The driver's side show are Wayne Campbell, nor is SPB Trucking. We no longer support this platform. And that's fine. Technically, I let you on the platform. Period. Don't boost your egos up, guys. I let you on. Rob Hallahan, he reached out to me. Gary Jones, I'm disappointed in. I'm just disappointed in Gary and the rest because I love his mother and all that. And whatever they told him, for him not to call me and just post that, that's cowardly. That's cowardly.
Right, and it's hurtful as well. I mean,
It's very hurtful. You know how much time and effort I put into that guy? You know how much money I spent just to go see him so that a certain magazine, all that crap. Am I going to throw his information out there now that could ruin a cover? No. No. Did I hold my material back after I spent all that money so he could do his business with the people that whatever cover he's coming out on? Yes. Sorry, go ahead.
right. Well, like I said, it just is just hurtful that you feel that you have a brotherhood with somebody, or a friendship with somebody at least, and just to only hear one side of it without calling first, or to say, hey, what's going on, like others have after all of these posts have gone up. It was kind of a little surprising.
Well, and for Rob Hallahan to do the same, to call me the day before he puts this post up and say, "Hey, man, I did an interview for someone for Small Fleet, winner of Small Fleet, da da da. Can you send me pictures?" Right, you got your pictures, didn't you, Rob? Go ahead and use them. Go ahead, because that's what it's for. I don't need you guys. I choose to be with you guys. And as far as for the better of the industry on Sunday goes, it's gone because Rob's gone. Because that's actually Rob named it. So Rob and I decided to do that together. So that's going to be gone. And you can ask Rob Hallahan to start a new show called For the Better of the Industry. He can have that. All right. But the funny thing is a big reason why I'm gone is the racism. So I wonder if that has to do with it, that I won't see color. Maybe they all see color. I don't know. But without making a phone call and telling me, it leaves it up for debate. So is it a bunch of racists or what's going on? What's being said? Not sure, but I'm just putting that out there. A big reason why I left is for what's on that porch.
Right. And
I'm not calling everybody racist. Let me get that clear. I'm not. But birds of a feather flock together.
Well, and you were, a little offended because you had told me about it prior. So, I mean, you were offended by it, which I'm sure others in the black community, especially, would be offended by it too.
Extremely. And guys, it's in the watch party. I can't see your comments, so you can always join the actual live feed. I see your comments now. Here's another thing that pisses me off. Is I got a lot of people on here that I care about that are interracial. And I've reached out and said I could not understand what you're going through right now. Because just the tension alone going out in public is there's tension. There's tension between white and there's different colors. And I still don't see it as far as their color, but I feel the tension. And that sucks. That sucks. It really does. It really does. On top,
I think the energy is a little off, and it's a little weird. I mean, it's a little weird as far as the energy. You're not sure if they're looking at you like thinking, are you racist? Are you against me? Are you for me? Or uh, it's a little strange. It's a little strange. That's all I can
And I'm
say.
not here to harp on the race,
No,
the race, because I'm not one to do that. I just really ain't. So I'm going to leave that at that.
right.
Part of the reason why I did leave is for this sitting on the porch. Period. Period. Young man, that's ridiculous. That is an absolute joke, especially during today's times. All right. So, and as far as John Herdrich goes, because we're going to get back to Hollerback and another big reason why I left and why that company is not a good fit for the driver's side. Number one, it's not a good fit. Do you feel it's a good fit, Sheila?
After everything that's transpired, I don't think it's a fit. So
I obviously said something wrong because her energy has completely changed. She doesn't even want to be here. She doesn't even want to talk. I could tell the look, everything. What's going on?
nothing's going on. This is, I mean, this whole event that happened that went down. I mean, it's an unfortunate situation. It's unfortunate. I mean, I'm glad that everything was found out and as far as happened now, before we made that transition and moved. But it's a little anxious and unfortunate situation. So it's difficult to talk about. I mean, these are people that, we cared about and that we were friends with. And the stuff that's happened and gone down and for your name to be smeared and others who haven't even been on the platform. That's what I don't know. Others for having been on the platform or they may have seen it once to jump on a bandwagon, and for your name to be smeared across and uh, just put out there is is not right, and for other peoples and drivers to start commenting when they don't even know, and especially about you being taken advantage of, that you were taken advantage of,
I was taking advantage of drivers.
extreme advantage.
I
You were
was taking
taking
extreme
extreme
advantage of drivers.
advantage of innocent people. Well, who? Who? I don't understand that. I mean, I don't understand that comment. You've done nothing. We've done nothing as far. We haven't made a dime, not a dime, as far as from the drivers at all. We have the one sponsor, which barely covers any costs at all.
What are you
But
talking
we've
about? I
done
spend that on a plane, on just plane fare in the past 2 months, in the past month and a half. Please stop it. Go ahead. I'm sorry.
right, and so I mean, you've done nothing. I mean, we've tried to do driver relief aid that got out there, and it wasn't even towards the drivers; it was towards the general public and four wheelers, and that didn't do so well. It was a little premature. That was back when we first started, and between three people, we raised $50, and the majority of it was from my two sisters. And when it wasn't enough and the time had expired, we decided that wasn't enough to really donate, so that we turned around and used the money to buy food for the homeless. And we went out and put a bunch of drivers' names on and told them they were for the drivers and went and fed the homeless.
Hopefully, I can go back and find that episode. We recorded that. We did a video about that. But I'm glad you brought that up because it made me feel good as a person because we actually, the area that we did it in was right in front of the my old rehab. This is where I went through them doors to get clean. And to go back to that area and be able to feed people that time. I'm sorry to interrupt, but that's what felt good about that. Sorry.
Right?
Because I'm smiling about feeding homeless because of the area that we did it in, and I was able to do that as a man.
Right.
So
And we put on there as far as the truckers' names, and this is from the driver, a truck driver, and we explained that, and they each had their own little bag, and we passed it out, and I think we did like 30 or 40 different little meals that we passed out, something
it
like
was
that.
50. It was 50. It was 50. We got up to 50.
And so, we've done that. We've done as far as
Sheila.
giveaways.
Right. We've done a lot, honey.
Right.
What I'm trying to say is, I don't want to sit in here. I'm not going to defend ourselves. I don't want you to sound like you have to rattle down everything we've ever done. If they don't know what we've done, that's
Right.
a great example. Then they shouldn't be here. I get it. Don't tune in. If you think I'm taking advantage of drivers, let's just get to the point of that because we can go on all day. The show is, and I'm sorry to cut you off there, but I know because your heart, our hearts. Point being is if that's what you feel I'm doing, then don't tune in. Don't support the driver's side, you know. But the one thing I'm not going to put up with, because the comments up here from John Herdrich is what I'm trying to say.
Right, it's a little threatening.
It's if you're going to come on the platform and you want to threaten me, that's fine. But you're just going to look like a fool. Okay? As far as me and John Herdrich goes, a lot of it was personal. The man has heart problems. I'm not going to beat up a guy with heart problems. But when someone don't put your hands on me, John. You put your hands on me. You want to sit here and say all that? That's as far as I'm going to go with that, John. If you put your hands on somebody, expect to have your hands put back on you. Period. Okay? I'm a grown man. I'm not a little boy. And the funny thing is if you don't know my truck and history, don't think you know the type of driver I am. Period. I'm done with that comment. Sorry, I didn't mean to cut you off.
No, you didn't.
Because we have a lot to get to. And you're not happy, and I can tell. I'm in trouble after this show. You guys don't see what I see.
You're not in trouble.
I'm done.
This is a crappy situation. I hate being put into this into this situation. I don't like it. I'm not comfortable with it. You know, I'm a pretty passive person. I don't like confrontation. I'm not good with it, and I find it a shame, and it's heartbreaking. It's heartbreaking that it's come to this
So,
over. You know, I don't know. Friends normally they fight and they tiff and they whatever that they do, and then there's some kind of a resolution. You know, if you're really friends. I mean, I've fought with friends and stuff before that, you know, and Lord knows I have a hot tongue. I have said stuff, and people have said stuff to me, you know, and you're heated for a little while, and but my friends and I eventually, you know, we break down, and it's like, okay, you know, yeah, I'm sorry, and you kind of move on and past it and discuss what it was, and so on and so forth, and get whatever it is that's inside out of what's bothering you, and instead of just poof. I don't understand that. I don't understand as far as friendships or brotherhood that
that's not
something
friendship. That's not brotherhood.
can't be
That's selfishness.
can't be
That's self.
repaired.
It's self, Sheila. It's self. The reason why Rob, I want to say, did what he did and doesn't have the balls to call me first, you know, and he's the one that reached out to me to be on this platform. Okay, he's the one that came to the Petra on Taco Tuesday and reached out to me. Okay, so let's not go there. What I'm trying to say is, John is Hallahan's running for John right now. So if John's going to call him up and tell him whatever, then that's fine. And if that's the route they want to go and they want to choose money and they want to do that, that's fine. Because I have no problem with John running all that and then still talking to Rob is my issue. You know, don't drag my name through the mud. And if you want to post, I'm no longer affiliated with the drivers, you're right. I affiliated you with it technically because you asked to be. And as far as people saying take down this content, take down that, this is not NBC. Okay, you invited me. Okay, that's how all that works. Point being is, I'm not here to drag people into the mud or throw stones like Greg Anderson says, but I'm here to look out for drivers. And I'm going to go right to we're going to go right to Brandon's side. Okay, and whoever Austin Hunt is, Brandon's ex half right. I I get that, but that's another situation. Which, why does he have that on his porch then? Period. That's just unbelievable. But let's just go to this. We'll even pass that. Okay, let's just go to the trucking company he so calls owns. I'm looking for a job, a good company to work for, coast to coast. Big no on the 99, and no lease purchase program. I don't want to own your truck. I do not want to buy your truck. What I'm trying to say is Bob Cook is a good driver, and Brandon supposedly has drivers that work for him. He has one driver and one that just started for him. And they do not have anything in place for drivers there. Safety, for one, they don't have a service bay. They don't have anything. And when I got there and Mommy found out that I came and was doing and made the deal with Brandon, business deal, and the reason why my wife's going to touch on this because we got a lot of money dumped into this company. And when Mommy found out that her son invited somebody to stay over, it wasn't okay. That's what happened with Brandon. Mommy found out that Wayne came down and cut a deal with a company that he does not control or have any control over. It is a toxic hellhole as far as it goes. Do you think I went out there and spent all this money to go work with a company that I can't even highlight? So, meaning the week before that I was there, Jake, not from State Farm, and all those places that he took me were shiny little things that he impressed me with. For 2 days I sat in that shop, there wasn't a soul in it. A soul. People coming up asking, hey, is this Holler? All that. It's a kid playing truck driver. And the driver's side cannot attach themselves to that.
Well, I don't even know what to say as far as about that other than, I mean, you went out there for a specific reason, which is why that you had gone back so early, a week after you had just gotten back,
Correct.
was because, you and Brandon had been talking not only on the last trip, but in between after you had gotten back. And it was my impression as far as why I had put my notice in. I mean, if you could have had it your way, I wouldn't even give them 2 weeks and we would have been off and going and moved to Ohio. Moving to Ohio for the understanding, as far as I understood it, it was that basically we were going to be partnering up with them, and uh, he was all in, and that was the reason why we'd be staying there as partners and to figure out and generate money. And it was my understanding from conversations from you that he had already been and was in the works of promoting as far as getting
The Kenworth dealership.
sponsorship and to generate money because he was going to become partner, which he wants to generate money as well. I get that. Um, and then for it not to be and things transpire how they did was a little disheartening. It's we do have quite a bit of money in the year, little over a year that we've been doing the show. We have close to almost 100,000, and
Right.
that's straight out of pocket. We have no debt. That's straight out of pocket, and there's still more stuff that we need. There's always stuff. There's always
Oh
equipment and
my God.
everything.
There's a ton of stuff.
Right. And this, like I said, this stuff comes out of our pocket, and we are by no means rich at all. We have to do little bits and pieces and parts as we go.
We're selling all our stuff off and we're still hitting the road. That's not changing.
Well, correct.
So if we were rich, we'd have our RV and be gone.
Correct.
So but you're 100% right, honey. That was a business deal. We'll cover some comments real quick because Aaron says Brandon's girlfriend was half white. What, how could he be racist? Well, Anton answered it himself. Exactly that part right there. The X is light skinned, which is almost white. She's not my complexion. Trust that. So, and as far as Dan goes, I want to know how many trucks you own, Wayne. I don't own, I'm not a truck driver. I don't claim to own a company. Dan Glasgow. I have a trucking show. So, go look at my resume, Dan. Obviously, you want to throw your stones. Dan, please. Let's don't even go there. Because I don't have to own a truck in today's industry. How many trucks does Brandon own? Well, he's going to be down one less truck as of today because technically, Brandon and the A model that he calls Murphy, found out that was driver error. He blew the engine. And to make the payment on the new engine, he's got to give up his K100. Okay, so if you want to go down this road, we don't have to. I'm not here to bash anybody. I'm here to tell the truth and tell why I'm not there. It's a trucking company that's hanging on, not Hollerback. And I did not go to highlight an elite fleet that runs historic trucks that don't even have a service bay. Okay, the guy doesn't even service his trucks. Okay, he talks that old school this and old school that. He's a talking head. He got me. Going there the week before, I didn't get to meet everybody. So coming back, the first day I got back, everybody was there. It was in full swing. And the N-word was tossed around like crazy. He treats his mechanics like end this and end that. I'm not going to be part of that. I've been in trucking a long time. The oil fields, right. Small companies, brother and sister owned, yes, been there, done that. Trucking always goes through hard times. So do people. But the one thing that doesn't have to be hard is a boss on a driver or people on a driver. They have no clue. I'm not gonna say. I'm not gonna do that. I'll post the videos. I'll post a few things up. But if you own a trucking company and you have drivers that work for you, you're supposed to give them a little area to where they can at least take care of your equipment and make sure it's running right, and check the oil and all that to pop the hood. When you have a trucking company, and you say you have a fleet of trucks and you have drivers and you have a yard and it's local, you're supposed to have a bay that you pull through every day. So you pop that hood. Your hoods get pulled every day on your yards, every day before that driver gets in there. Period. It's called preventative maintenance. That's how simple this is. The one thing I didn't do is own a company, but I worked for some of the best, and I was a top tier driver at every single company. Not just that, is I ran fleets of cars that needed to be refabricated for a certain NBA player. Okay, let's not go. If you really want to go down that road and throw stones at me, that's fine. But you're not gonna. It's not gonna look well. The one thing I do look out for is the driver, not the companies. Okay, I try to find good companies for good drivers. This was supposed to be a good place for drivers. It's not. He barely has 2 drivers. He's barely hanging on to 1. The toxicity within that company is disgusting, and it's not a fit for the driver's side. Plain and simple. Like Keith Becker says, I know the history of that statue. My wife and my in-laws are black, and they are very offended and find it to be a racist the way it is being portrayed today. There's actually a name for it for the black community has a name for it. Okay, and I'm not going to say it. I'm just not going to do it. I'm not, because I don't see no color. Let alone the and that's personal stuff as far as that goes. But I won't associate with people like that. Period. And if people want to disassociate themselves with me over what happened with them, well, that says something.
Well,
Period.
and I think the confusion of everyone when you went back, everyone was a little surprised why you were back so soon, like you were just back there to play, and that you weren't back there to finish and wrap things up and get things situated and set up there, as in we were forming a partnership and starting the show and relocating there. It was my impression from what you were telling me was that everyone was pretty much surprised and shocked and had no clue why you were coming back at all, and was perhaps a little surprised when you were like, well, what are you talking about? I'm here because of this reason. And others were a little surprised as, what do you mean? So I can't necessarily speak so much upon that. I wasn't necessarily there. I didn't hear the word for word. I have to, but I know that when you told me that they're a little surprised, and then you told me, not to put my notice in, I said, well, no. We had already planned that we were going to go on the road as it was anyways, okay? Ohio was only going to be a stop or a home base for us as we hit the road further from there. We would spend some time and then continue on. So, if it's not Ohio, that's still not going to stop us from hitting the road and going. It's just we don't start in Ohio.
No. And as far as the bullshit, okay, so we got a comment from Aaron Combs. What's a bunch of BS, Aaron, is not telling your mommy you have somebody coming and moving into your home, and that his wife of 30 years of a bartender put her notice in because we all talked loud and clear, made it clear with supposedly the owner of the company, and are moving there. Right. All right. You want to talk about BS? It's a young man that don't tell his mommy friends are coming over to play, and when they get there, oh, everybody's got to go. And then when he's made and found out, oh, you got to get off my property, I'm calling the cops. Right. Child playing truck driver is what that is. Mommy owns the company, period. Mommy is a shot caller, the big baller, not a little kid that doesn't even change his own oil or doesn't even have a service bay or rags or anything for drivers to take care of his equipment.
Okay, we're not here to bash.
I'm not here to bash, but that's the truth. If you run a company, you're supposed to equip the drivers that can take care of your equipment. And how about road service? What if something happens with the drivers? There's nobody even there to answer the phones. No one gets there till like 1 o'clock in the afternoon. Oh, that's because it's family. Let me not go there, please. Please. And don't fly me across the country to show me how you can drive a twin stick and you don't even know how to drive it. Neither one of them knew how to drive that truck. None of us. We all went out in that twin stick. Why do you think there's no footage? I had the doctor footage of him shifting 1 gear.
Okay, well let's just clarify something right there.
Well, I can't drive a twin stick either.
No, that's not what I'm talking about at
What?
all. You say don't fly me across. Nobody flew you. You flew
Oh,
yourself.
that's true.
So let's just put
That's
that
true.
out there.
Yeah, that's true.
Not a
That's my.
dime that's come
I have
out
to
of
be
a
accountable for
driver's
that.
pocket.
I have to be accountable for that. I have to be accountable for that.
Right.
I'm not going to let this drag me down, Shelly. And that's the thing. The one thing I know is that good people do stick together. Shelly Conway, and I'm going to tell her right. I was a little offended by your post yesterday. Being famous on Facebook, being popular on Facebook is like sitting at the popular table in the mental ward. I think it was. It was hilarious because hey, wait, I'm on Facebook. She's right though, but I have a show on Facebook.
Right.
It's not me trying to be popular on Facebook. But yeah, Aaron Combs. As far as going back to hanging on, yeah, I went back too soon because, oh man, I didn't know the truth. Like I said, it's like that driver that goes to that new company and you get there and you're like, oh no, what did I do? Drivers know what I'm talking about. That's the funny thing. Drivers know what I'm talking about. You company owners can stick together. But I'll tell you this, that's not a trucking company. That's a kid playing truck driver. If you have a fleet of historic trucks that you so-called have, and all these drivers that you took the payroll protection plan for, kind of curious where that went. There's like there's one driver. He just hired another one. And from what I'm hearing, he can't hold on to him to save his life. People like him as a person, but won't work for him. I can't do that. The driver's side can't be attached to something like that. That's no different than that big box, than Swift. It's actually worse. Swift, at least you know you're probably going to get taken advantage of there. Over this one, oh boy, you get there and it's like, ah, damn it, what did I do? As drivers, let me tell you something. I worked for many trucking companies, many God rest Max's soul, because that's where I learned the most. Was at Chalk Mountain. Went from 25 trucks to 200 trucks in a short amount of time. Thing is, there's basics to run a company. And if you don't have the basics in place, like a simple station for drivers to basically go get a rag to check their oil, to wipe their dick stip, to replace their washer fluid, and all that stuff, if you don't have that in place, you don't have a trucking company. Because the number one thing is your driver and your maintenance plan and your maintenance system to keep that equipment in top notch. You know, I went from, like I said, 5 trucks. Talk about it, it was like 5 trucks at one time. 5 trucks. Then I went to 10, 20. Boom. Small outfit on a ranch. Just like, I love that Aaron's taking me down this road. Because all I got to do is read it. Come on, when he's a small outfit, he doesn't run 100 trucks, right? Max did not run 100 trucks either when he first started. He had 1. And it was on a small ranch in Glen Rose, Texas. And I'm going to go down this, and we're going to pick this up here later because I hit my 30-minute mark. But if you want to throw things at me, thinking that you can protect this person and say that he's just a small outfit, go ahead. But remember, I've visited many companies, let alone worked for many companies. I've had the sheriff called on me for protecting drivers, wanting to know why the company laid off 300. What I'm saying is Max that started Chalk Mountain Services started off in a ranch house. Okay? Smaller than what Brandon has today. In the middle of a pasture with cows and all that. He had one truck that hauled cows. So then he started hauling water for the oil field. And he got bigger and bigger. We used to come in every morning and punch that clock because we were local in his kitchen. In his kitchen. Small outfit. A group of great people that didn't see color because we had every color there. And he grew that company. And the kids took it and got it. And they ran it directly into the ground for profit. They didn't care about the drivers. I'll pick this up tomorrow, right? Because we got a lot more to talk about, don't we? But my point being is, Mr. Aaron, come on, Wayne. He's a small outfit. He doesn't run a 100-truck fleet. He has a couple trucks. Why does he need someone there answering phones? They don't go that far. And why cut down a young man just trying to make it? Because I'm a small business just trying to make it too. Aaron. So is my wife. That we sunk all our money into this. And he found me and said that the trucking industry needs a voice, Wayne. And you're the one. All this. I have a historic fleet that I run. Matter of fact, when I took the PPP, yeah, I'd love to be on your panel and this and that. When technically, when I get there and you show me everything you have, and then we start working a deeper deal to where I'm moving and my wife's putting in her time, well, that's not okay because we're a small company too. And you just set my small company back financially, not view-wise. Okay? Let's get that clear. But financially. You sold a bag of false hope, and I bought it. I need to be accountable for that. It's my fault for not scratching the service and not actually calling your mother. That's 50% owner of Hollerback Trucking. Right, they're on here. They're watching, and you should be. And you should be ashamed of your son, Tina, for treating people like that. Period. I don't care if you air your shit. Right, I don't, but I air. This is the driver's side. We are a business too. And guess what? My business is broadcasting. You might want to think about who your son gets in bed with sometimes. Because this is the results. This is my truth, not yours, Tina. And that's what this is. Period. I have an audience to answer to. And why I'm back here and not working with your son that said he wanted to help drivers. Okay? So we had that talk, Tina. I actually invited you to dinner, and your son didn't even show up while I was there in the short amount of time that I was there. Your son was forced to take me to the airport, and on the way, he showed his integrity. When an accident pretty much happened right in front of us, and he just drove right through it. And I'm on the phone with my wife, and I said, yeah, these are not truck drivers because they passed that accident. He's supposed to be a first responder. And his answer was, because I said it to my wife in front of him, didn't you know I'm a firefighter? And made it even worse. I'm not here to bash somebody, but don't put me in this position to where, well, I don't have to defend myself, but I have to tell the driver's side. And you guys can all come on here. And here's a story. He wouldn't do that. That young man is so scared of me now. Please. Remember, don't mess with the driver's money. Ever. Anybody's money. Ever. You worked for Brandon. Wait, dude, I worked the Brandon for 20 years, and you are so far based. You worked for Brandon for 20 years, so you started working for him when he was 12? The guy's 32. Wes. Bro. Think about the things you type before you type in there, Rambo. Go ahead, Sheila. I know. I'm almost ranting. Right? Am I ranting? To talk about it because his mom's on here trying to defend herself. I'm 50% owner. Right, I get that. Well, if you're 50% owner, then you should have known the business that was happening with your company, with me in the driver's side. Period. How involved are you in your company? Well, that says something. Come on, Tina. I'm not here to do that to you. That's one thing I'm not here to do. But the one thing I am to do is to let everybody know where the driver's side's at and what we've gone through as a show. Reality show. Wayne, you're so good at what you do. You're a great storyteller. Thank you for doing it. I mean, should I stop? But then when it's time to talk about the business, oh, he's just a guy with a phone. He doesn't make enough money. Right. But now when it's time to do this, now it's like, oh, 50%. I try to warn you guys. If this is how you want to handle it, Brandon, then this is how it gets done. Am I wrong or right here, Sheila? Talk to me. You'll tell me if I'm wrong. Go ahead. Tell me where I'm wrong.
We weren't necessarily trying to go down exactly this road.
No.
And so, I'd like for you to make sure that it's not a, your feelings don't get so much involved because you're hurt and upset, and that you don't get so
Here,
going off going off the flying the lips uh out of feelings.
right. Well,
Out of feelings.
I'm going to say this. Like he says this. Okay, you are bashing him. Let him tell his version because it's way different than yours. Well, he's got a live feed. He can do it anytime. He can come on here anytime. Okay. Here's what I'm going to say. It's just because like this Bill Fetzer, the one that says I support you, Wayne, but this is one sided. We need both sides. Correct. You do. Well, he can come on anytime. For one, I want to talk about the thing on his porch. Number two, Bill, I'm glad that name came up. Billy Joe.
Oh.
That came and visited. So Brandon leaves the truck, supposedly a shop truck, because he goes out and does his Wayne's keys in it, da-da-da. So I get a call from a driver, Billy Joe, and I go down and pick him up. And I bring him back to the yard because he wants to meet everybody. In the midst of that, we're going to have dinner. So I called Natasha and said, Natasha, I'm going to bring a driver over before dinner. And I say, I know we don't have enough for Billy, so I'm going to take him back before dinner. Hurry up and get back. Brandon's pissed off. You took the truck. Oh, he left me the truck. And actually, I just saw him and waved him. Doesn't call me. Then come to find out when I get there and bring Billy, he was pissed off that I brought a driver there. That's what I'm supposed to do. That's what I do is I meet drivers. So now you don't want to be drivers? Why the hell are you involved with me? And then don't let me hear from other people that you're pissed off. I don't need this childish stuff. You know. So, Brandon, come on anytime. I would love him to come on. I really, really would. Oh, God, would I.
Exactly.
So,
But
don't lose your integrity. Don't lose your integrity, Wayne. They just trying to push buttons. Right. Thank you, Freddie Bell from Stack Logistics. Here's the beauty of the thing about it, guys. If you don't know who the driver's side is, you need to go watch the show. Because thank you, Freddie Bell, and thank you to all the professionals over at Stack Logistics, where they take care of their drivers from in every aspect, and where the driver takes care of the company's equipment like it's their own. These are drivers that I met, and actually all the way from the driver to the operations manager on the driver's side show. Matter of fact, I'll run another watch party today, and then we'll be back tomorrow. Because remember, guys, I'm here every morning, 6 a.m. Sheila, do we have anything else? Because we'll pick this up tomorrow.
not every morning. It's Monday through Friday.
Oh, yeah, Monday through Friday. And we are still hitting the road. And nothing will stop this platform. And trust me, most of you will be back tomorrow. Some won't. And I'm okay with that. The thing is you are the heartbeat of America. You should be acting like it. And if you're working for somebody that's making money off the back of a driver, well, you should be treated like the heartbeat that you are to that company. Always keep that shiny side up, that rubber side down. Sheila, to make money in this trucking industry, what do you need to do?
Keep that left door closed.
Katie.